Okay, so if nobody's gonna talk about this disgusting ass topic, then I'm gonna pick it up and I'm gonna talk about this disgusting ass topic. Because I saw like a group of people literally jumping a person who was being honest that like the last okay, I'm not putting any trigger warnings because fuck it, honestly. Life's harsh, bro. Let's go. Let's roll. So there was this discussion on Instagram that I saw, like video popping in front of me. And there was a person telling how she was asked like who was the who was like the reason and the like the problem or more problematic for their who was let's say at fault for their last heartbreak and she said that it was her because she oh, okay, listen carefully because I'll tell the distinguishment. And honestly, I don't care about all the triggered people. You can go trigger yourself elsewhere. You go touch grass, like the grass is burning, right? Anyways, well, the person told that she was because she, in the last relationship, she started developing feelings. She suddenly developed feelings for her best friend. And she actually had an open communication with her partner. And she told her partner that, she had a thing for her best friend all of a sudden, you know. And like strong feelings. And at first they tried to work it out and like, time went by, but the feelings didn't diminish, they stayed. And that's the main consensus, okay? And here I'm gonna speak about the disgusting topic of, you know, I'm gonna mention. First of all, this girl was jumped like by so many people. They call her toxic. They call her like she's a wrecker. She ruined this person's life. What are you talking about, bitch? She'd ruined the person's life. Click off the video if you want to. She ruined the person's life. The truthers will stay. She ruined the person's life. She would ruin if she would stay there. She would ruin the person's life if she'd stay there. Because if it didn't just fade, there's lust, right? And it fades, it goes away, okay? Some passion and it goes away, goes by, bye bye, it's done. But there's also actual, like strong, real feelings that don't just pass on, they don't fade. And that's a real problem. What are you gonna do with a partner that has feelings, actual feelings for somebody else, deep feelings for someone else? You know? Like you don't want to deal with that. Why? Because first of all, well, I don't know about other people. I'm sorry, I can't talk about other people, how they have their intuition amped up or they don't. But I can tell a person if I see someone is their soulmate. I can also tell what type. I can sense these things. And yeah. Well, I'm getting some weird ass information thrown at me right now. Somewhere that energy is feeling very conflicted about what I'm saying. Okay, a little bit of a buzz here. Okay, are you gonna like fuck? Okay, I don't care. Honestly, call me whatever you wanna. Oh my god. Okay, okay. But yeah, I'm saying the truthers will listen. So I can tell when there's like a karmic soulmate and one person suddenly met, let's say, their divine counterpart. Of course, they're gonna resonate insanely with that. But with that situation as she described, this could have been. I haven't seen that person, but this could have been her past life soulmate that she suddenly, like marriage through, and suddenly realized that, you know soul recognition can happen in divine timing. And people hate this wording, divine timing. But yeah, I'm gonna speak about it. I mean, so people could, well, I guess maybe recognize situations more. And I mean, me myself, I've also dealt with such situations before. And I'm actually glad that people dropped me, because you don't want to be with someone who's like, say, lost feelings for you or has feelings for somebody else. I mean, girl, get a grip, get a, what's that? Self-love, confidence. Like I was back then, of course, I had my emotions. It felt awful because also it was done in a very awful way. Like one of the ways was literally in a cinema at my birthday. Like I was just left alone to watch a movie alone. So yeah, it really depends on how nasty people do this shit, and like stuff with the backstabbing and doing things like actual nasty things behind your back. Like that's different, that's what makes a difference. And I'm like, I don't understand why people jumped the person who was actually honest and open in communication. At least that's what she presented there. But I can't say I saw her as like that she was doing something nasty behind the back. I didn't think so. I think that she was open in communication, basically, as she has said there. And man, people will literally jump on anybody. Like, what the frick? This is shocking to me. Like, I am judgmental myself. Like, I will judge somebody who, like, cheats on somebody, you know? Like, Adam Levine and Dine, that guy, like, he did her wrong. Like, his partner. He did her wrong. Like, he was literally just being lustful. What the fuck? Like, what, control your fucking urges? That's cringe. Like, that's cringe. But, like, what I'm saying is different cases. Lust is one thing, but actual in depth feelings is a different thing. And also, to add, yes, you can, like I said, meet someone in divine timing. You might not freaking like how the universe presents things to you, but it's just how it does, you know? Like, I've even spoken openly to people I know. I've literally told people, like, okay, so you're in a toxic connection. Like, I can see that. I can freaking smell that. Okay. I mean, I can sense plenty things with my, however you call it, shaman, which tingly senses, okay, spidey senses, whatever you call it. And yeah. And then I said that, look, and life has presented you an opportunity with something else, maybe a job opportunity or something different, or a different person, like a soulmate. It can be like a gift, like a sudden gift from the universe. Yes, it can be like a blessing from the universe. And yeah, I'm talking about unpleasant topics that people don't like to mention, that don't want to mention, because heck, they don't like to address any, these elephants in the rooms, because of their reputation. They're so afraid that people will mistaken their words for something else or jump them immediately. Why would you care about these jumpers? Genuinely, why the fuck do you care about these idiotic sheep that can't think for themselves? And I don't think sheep are actually stupid. I think they're smart animals. I think these people are fucking stupid. That they're like jumping people and putting the labels. Like, you won't put the label of Adam Levine in thine lost case. Okay, I'm not gonna judge him anymore, because fuck that. It's on them. It's on them and their stuff. Okay. But Heck, I can tell the energy. I can tell what's a soulmate. I can tell what's a karmic soulmate. I can tell these things. And yeah, I'm not gonna judge him anymore, but people need to use their freaking discernment for once and stop putting such a disgusting label on a person that openly communicates. Isn't this what people ask for? Isn't this what people look up to in ideals? That a person will be open and honest with them? And then they suddenly jump them with a level of toxicity that's absolutely incandescent, bro. I say that's cringe. I say that's cringe. Like, like I'm saying, this transit of Pluto in Aquarius, and I mean it's a slow transit. It's not like click and fast sudden, but we can already notice how people are freaking going ruckus and like havoc. And if they couldn't evaluate shit for once, they can't evaluate shit right now. And they're just jumping stuff with this Leo and Mars energy. It's kind of like feisty. And in the worst case, it's extreme egotistic energy, especially if it's, sorry, confirmation, in conjunction with other aspects that are of ego, Martian, strong human, egoic energy. And if one has an underdeveloped heart chakra, they will literally be like, okay, like, oh, let's freaking just jump at that person. But like, I mean, seriously, I'm like a panther jumper, right? I am. I mean, yes, I am judgmental, but heck, I did not go and jump that person. Because shit, you gotta evaluate. You literally gotta. How are you blaming her on the same level and shitty treatment as Adam Levine was? Like, that's. She literally was open in communication. I've never, by the way, I've never dropped people this way in this type of sense. I dropped once for a different, completely different set of reasons. Because first of all, person was acting really fucking weird with the waiters and stuff and like stuff like that. Then also they were lying about several things, and there was some of other aspects that didn't align with me, and I didn't like that at all. And top it off with emotional manipulation, and I just don't like this type of stuff that I was experiencing with the person back then. It was years and years ago. And yeah, but I've never had this type of a situation really where I dropped someone because I actually developed feelings for somebody else that it would be the reason for it. No, it was usually I was in a slightly toxic or really toxic place, and no, when I was in really toxic place, I just dropped them. I was like, bye. I don't need your fucking ass. I'm gonna go away. I need to heal myself away from your toxic ass shit. Bye. Oh my god. I mean, real. People need to evaluate things correctly and stop jumping at people who don't deserve this type of jumping. But I guess we'll never get to this place. And to this level of idealism they're trying to project, which is really cringe, actually. It's like when you thought you're judgmental, and then you see these people acting like actual assholes towards a person that was opening communication. But yeah, that's that. I hope I explained this to somebody. Yes, you can actually, in the middle of somewhere in your life, I don't know, maybe you're in your 40s, 50s, you have midlife crisis, or you're even no crisis, and you suddenly, poof, out of nowhere, boop, there's a soulmate in front of you, but there's the divine feminine or masculine. Okay, but count that in that you might not have a divine feminine or masculine because that's a rare deal. Okay, that's not for everyone. People need to again use their discernment. It's like these situations are so gradual and they have to be evaluated in detail and not just like in general. Of course we need to categorize things, but in general consensus, when you can't put things in correct categories, you're literally gonna end up jumping people incorrectly in that type of sense. And we can all make mistakes. That's, I think that's like a common understanding, common consensus. But yeah, I mean, I think everybody understands that. I don't think that it has to be mentioned, you know, to some extent. I mean, not when, of course, someone makes, let's say, 40%, 50% of mistakes, or even more. Then it means there's a problem they need to evaluate. Again, without side help of a professional who, like, of a person who knows how to use their resources correctly. Okay, let's say that would be the explanation. And who has developed themselves to use their resources correctly. Okay. Um, that's that. But yeah, I mean, whatever people think, but this is like, I think, more or less the correct consensus, honestly. Like, that's the divine truth. I'm sorry, like, you like it or you don't, but yeah. Soul blessings can happen all of a sudden. Things can crack off, and you might look at it and you might be like, oh, my life has been ruined. There's a huge ass crack there. That was really stupidly put, but that was silly. Anyways, but yeah, there on the other side is, I don't know, like a bridge incoming, some other bridge, a blessing, you know, seeing like a wide bridge of a blessing, you know. So it's like the divine operates in ways that we can't really perceive fully or understand fully because, I mean, I believe that humans are not supposed to understand some things, especially when you see these types of humans that, you know, will actually jump anybody or will actually throw themselves in a fight for anything at all that they see. And they're like, oh, rah, there's something happening. Let's go, let's trash that person. Let's take out all of our bullshit that we've carried on for years. And even if they're not, and even if they weren't acting like that toxic person in our lives, they were to 2% of what they said, or to, let's say, 10% of what they said. And that means I have all the allowance to freaking jump them. And tell how shitty they are. They should suffer in hell or stuff like, yeah, that. I mean, that's true. That's literally how some people unfortunately evaluate. They see that 10% for everything, or like 10% for 80% of the situation. It's so for some, you know, the trauma also skews the perception. Not the trauma, I mean, they might already have had difficulty literally with like rationality. It's not a god-given gift to everyone, okay? Not everyone can be rational and evaluate things correctly. Even worse if that person is actually freaking stubborn. But again, like I've been saying that whatever you put out there is gonna have a counter argument. So you really gotta, you gotta stand for your truth, you gotta protect it. And that's the whole deal. Like, some people might have a bigger and louder perspective, and they can be those that actually spill some BS, unfortunately. And that's where we also can see this consensus of people jumping, people who don't really deserve that type of jumping. And people even, like that person in the video, in the end she smiled and like she giggled a bit, and like people were saying that she wouldn't laugh as much if this was done to her. And it's like, I'm sorry, what? She didn't laugh because she finds it funny. It's literally like a nervous response and coping, and that's how people act when they tell such personal things on camera. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you, bro? Anyways, yeah, it's like, evaluate the cases. You can't just freaking use everything as one shablon. This is crazy. I don't know how useful this honestly is for anybody. I feel like people who need to find tea on me will just watch this and will be like, some, I know there are some who already like spill some bullshit about me, even though I never really had such situations in my life. I was the one that was dropped in that way, like I mentioned in the video, and I honestly am thankful I'm not with this person anymore, because I would not want them now. See, like, I've evolved and I'm like, no freaking way. I'm like, and it's not because I'm like salty. It's because there were other things that this consensus that there were these things that this person did in the relationship that now, as evolved person, I would not tolerate before, and I would not want them back, and I do not feel these things for them, and this is why it has to be evaluated. Maybe the divine wants you to ascend. Whether it's your career and workplace, whether it's your path in some other sense, whether it's getting away from a toxic family, whether it's, I don't know, or not necessarily getting away from family, completely cutting ties, but like getting away in a sense, like if you have an ability to get away further or like control the environment in some type of way to protect yourself, okay, or getting out of a toxic relationship. Toxic is a big word that we literally put to things like physical assault, etc., etc., extreme stuff. But hello, the toxicity that we experience is not just that at all. It's like gradual, and that's what I tell people. And like I said before, back then, maybe I didn't like something, but I stood there. It was years and years ago. But right now, I would never even get in such a situation. Okay? I don't know, I hope I helped somebody with this, because I feel like I've been just yapping to people about, um, in readings, like, oh, you should drop this toxic stuff, whatever, whomever, or several people resonated with this energy and that reading and these several readings. Like, I'm not just saying that out of my ass. Well, I'm saying this based on, what is this accent, what the freak, I'm saying this based on, I just feel like I'm really like I'm talking this and my mind is connected through also channeling things at the same time. That's when I speak more weird or like heavy or like change these consensus, and like, yeah, real. um that's also why I say to people, you need to learn your discernment. You can't just trust somebody's words openly in the wild as they as they are on a human surface consensus of psychology. You need to go beyond that. You need to tap into your intuition, especially if you've come across my energy and if you've resonated with my energy. That means you really do have the ability to tap into your intuition, and you have to tap into your intuition, and you have to learn these deals and discernments and the type of stuff, you know. And it might feel like your head is overwhelmed right now, okay, just to get like a little bit of headache, like someone might feel overwhelmed with these thoughts and this type of consensus. It's like, it's okay, let your mind to process this, literally, like let yourself flow through this information, let yourself process this, let your body and soul process this, remember these things, the remembrance, the important details and things, this core soul consensus, this light within, whatever, let it just move over, and it will remember things, it will come to a consensus, and you will get the truth and information that you need. Okay, so that's that. Thank you for listening. I hope I helped somebody. Yeah, that's all. I felt like I really need to get this out, like clearly, with clarity, these different discernments, these different categories, how I see this, how I channel through divine, through the spirit, how I feel this type of divine guidance given through me, and to position these things in front of people to understand what I'm talking about and what I mean in my readings. So, thank you.